Good afternoon, everyone. Your transitory inflation, the highest of the century. California extreme drought. The water just disappeared magically. All these areas are not going to grow food this year. More inflation. Signs in the skies, refractivity. Cosmic rays, blue king crabs, cosmic rays, giant moths. Atmospheric disturbances, pallet shortages. And sometimes you just feel like this alligator with a knife in the head, with all the distractions as our world descends into this grand solar minimum. New studies show that by the time people reach their middle ages, the body often produces less than half of the collagen it did in their youth. Collagen is the main building block in our skin, making up 70 to 80% of it. This is why we get sagging skin and wrinkles as we age. If you want to look younger, you must supplement collagen, which will improve your skin's elasticity, make it smoother, more plump, and more youthful looking. That's why Ageless Multi-Collagen provides 5 key types of collagen you need from 4 different sources, essential to optimally support an array of full-body benefits. No odor, no taste, no clumping, unlike other collagen supplements. And this is why I recommend Health with Adapt 2030. Ageless Multi-Collagen, and look at that, I need another bag already. Quick way for youthful appearance. Use the link in the description box below for 51% off my favorite Ageless Multi-Collagen. And now on with the video. And we keep hearing the same words regurgitated once again. Transitory inflation, transitory hyperinflation. I don't know what world this CPI measurement's living in at a third of 1% increase in prices. But anyway, it's the highest of the century in the last 21 years. And as we all know, anything that's supposedly quote-unquote transitory from the halls of legislation usually becomes permanent. Also, speaking of evaporation, doesn't have to be your money in purchasing power. The water just suddenly evaporated out of California at just extreme drought instantly. Don't know what happened. Dry soils simply evaporated. The entire snowmelt for the entire season just poof, gone. Never even ran down the stream, just evaporated. And as I'd reported on in a previous story, the short water supply is now forcing a reduction in the amount of acreage for popular crops coming out of California that can be grown this year. Asparagus, lettuce, melons, tomatoes, sweet corn, and about 60 others. So if you're wondering why some of your food and vegetable prices are going up, in addition to corn and wheat, the staple crops, it's because a majority of what we eat in the United States in terms of veg that's not imported from Mexico comes from California. And how much might you say that has been cut in terms of water allocation? 1 out of every 4 acres has already had its water supply cut by 95%. And that was prior to the sudden evaporation of all the snow melt. This was the map prior to what the newest super drought story is. And again, it could rain next year, and then this will be all swept under the rug like it was a super drought 2015, and then record snowfall 2016-17, and then wow, the drought was alleviated, but now it's back into drought again. These areas that you see in Southern California are the prime vegetable basket for the United States. That is not forthcoming this year. And the fuel supply crunch on the East Coast of the U.S. is delaying planting. So we're getting it from all sides. This delay right now in fuels coming to farm machines running through the fields due to an absurd late cold spring, well, it just keeps piling on. And if you feel that rainbows are lucky and you can run to the end of a rainbow and grab a pot of gold, how about a double? Alabama, signs in the skies. Here's another double-double that you might like. Refractivity coming off of a sun halo 360 with a morph, a double twist, almost a figure 8. What I can see there, the infinity symbol in the sky. Wish they could have widened that out over a little bit more over to the right or to the east and then capture the rest of that infinity symbol there. But as it morphed through whatever those wispy clouds that almost look man-made bending upward, refracting the sun. Almost looks like a bunch of little metal in the sky or something. I don't know what that might be. Looks like a lot of bouncing light up there. I definitely don't think that's natural. It looks more man-made to me. But if you have any comments what you think might be causing this atmospheric disturbance, blocking the sun, bouncing light all over the place. I mean, rocket launches here afterward with the upper level winds blowing and then refracting the light during the sunset. Beautiful. StarX launch here with the contrail coming off the rocket. That's not really a sign in the sky, but mysterious rings in Vermont. I've seen these mysterious rings and squares popping up all over the place recently. News media was trying to say it was a lens flare. Okay. Lens flare once. Wait, lens flare twice. Marseille, France. This is an unusual one. Coming in at late dusk. Single circular cloud. Vermont, France. Oh, they're all lens flares. More strange beauty in the skies. This is a new type of cloud formation that hasn't been seen before. Similar to a momentous cloud, but a little bit different striation in the way the winds are forming. Doesn't have that rolling look to it. Seems more of a lava lampish look. Steve's back in the skies as well. That plasma rope is becoming much, much more electrified and much more intense. I'm just wondering when you start to see the arms and the legs come off of that center body right there, and we'll see Squatter Man in the sky. Canyon petroglyphs coming to life once again as our magnetosphere decreases. Our skies electrify. Plasma can hold state longer. It can change color. There's more electrification. Things become glowing that were invisible to our eyes. Well, it's just the charge increased and it starts to glow. A lot of this happening right now. Now, also with the weakening magnetosphere, we're going to get a lot of animal changes here. This is a cosmic ray change, in my opinion. A blue-colored king crab. Now, we're starting to see a lot of anomalies in the animal kingdom. My 2 cents, massive increases in galactic cosmic rays mean massive DNA changes here on Earth. Let's talk about the world's heaviest moth, now found in Australia. New world record, so heavy it can't even fly. Now, what kind of moth is born that can't fly because it is so heavy? Cosmic rays once again, perhaps. These giant leaps in our fossil record. Evolutionary leaps, in fact. Robert Felix does a great book on this, Magnetic Reversals and Evolutionary Leaps. Things just appear as a completely different species during these cosmic ray bombardments where the next generation of a species born is different than the parents. Would this not also fit the bill? It's almost becoming a land-walking creature with the size to protect itself versus a flying creature. Well, let's jump back to the wood shortages here, lumber prices. Where have all the pallets gone? Probably the same place all the containers have gone. They were packed full and then taken off to their continuity of government locations or put underground for safe storage for whatever. A group of persons would be storing that for long-term survival. Do you think all the containers across the planet disappearing where Hapgood Lloyd had to order 150,000 new containers? They didn't fall off the boat. They were packed and put in storage somewhere safe, completely full. That would explain a lot of this pallets. Because when you're going to run a forklift inside a container to put something incredibly heavy like cases of foods, supplies, repair parts, medicines, or whatever, those pallets go under the heavy goods, which are stacked on top, and then those are put into the containers themselves and then slammed shut on the doors, and underground it goes. You can't even buy or rent these in the U.S. They're becoming so rare, and they're trying to blame it on the lumber shortage, but I don't know how far you can really take that because the lumber is expensive. It's not a shortage. So to say that there's a shortage in the containers because of the shortage in lumber, wait a second, there's not a shortage in the lumber. The lumber is expensive, so there shouldn't be a shortage in the pallets unless they're being used for something else. Disappeared like the containers. And with all this going off, signs in the skies, unusual artificial shortages happening here, there, and everywhere, massive containers such as 40-foot or 20-foot just disappearing by the millions off the face of the earth. Like, where are they going? They're going underground or to bases for continuity. I sometimes feel like this alligator right here. My mind is being scrambled with all the distraction. But again, that's the purpose. The distraction is the purpose, so you don't see all those changes going around, so you don't want to ask why the cosmic rays are turning the crabs blue. Forget that. Please keep jumping through the hurdles. And perhaps that's why you would want to have some long-term storable foods. Those of you on the East Coast are probably going, whoa, I could use little long-term storable foods. What if those trucks don't arrive to the supermarkets because the diesel's in such short supply? If the farmers can't get their diesel to plant crops right now, what do you think is going to happen with the truck drivers? My Patriot Supply and Adapt 2030, the 2-week or the 4-week emergency food supply. But My Patriot Supply also has 1 month, 6 month, and 1 year packages. That link's in the description box below, along with the links to all the images and stories tonight. I do appreciate you watching. I hope you got something out of the video. And every purchase you make with My Patriot Supply helps me bring you more information like this to keep you and your families more grand solar minimum prepared. What anomalies are you seeing in your local areas? Make a note, and I'll see you next time.